Governance generally implies the process by which decision-making is implemented or not implemented. It is the manner in which power is exercised in the management of an organization and country's social and economic resources for development. Hello and welcome. I'm Stephen Ipalubo Lawson, and this is Business Matters, where business truly matters.
Business matters. Let's talk business. Business matters.
Good governance can be described as upholding the rule of law, transparency, equity, effectiveness, accountability, and strategic vision in the exercise of political, economic, and administrative authority. Let us take our business update.
Business matters.
Hey, beautiful, your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight. Now reading page 3. Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Intel 4G.
Intel. Live more.
Business matters.
Experts recommend enabling policies and strategies such as political leadership, quality civil service, capacity building, etc., that will ensure good governance for sustainable development. Welcome to our professional segment.
Business matters.
Thank you for staying tuned with us on Business Matters, Nigerian's premium business program. And this is the professional segment, as you know. And joining me in the studio is an economic and communication strategist who has had over 15 years expertise in one of Nigeria's leading banks as the chief sustainability officer, as well as one who coordinated CSR and HSE. He's an individual who has been on the different boards of the newspapers, some of Nigeria's leading newspapers. As a matter of fact, has risen up to the point of being a business editor and editor respectively. He has a master's and a bachelor's in economics from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and a fellow of several institutes, including the Chartered Institute of Management Consultants. As a matter of fact, he's also a member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. And joining me in the studio to explore the topic, corporate governance, panacea for economic transformation and sustainable development, is no other person than Marcel Okeke. He is the CEO and lead consultant of Mascot Communication and Consult Business. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. Thank you so much.
Your profile is always so very impressive. And I was saying to my producer earlier on that this is an individual I've known all the while from the Guardian newspaper, and who is somebody who is a stickler for sustainability, for corporate governance, for doing things the proper way. How has that experience been for you?
Well, I must give all the glory to God for that exposure. Like you mentioned, I've gone through the Guardian, I've gone through sustainability, I've been head of research in Zenith Bank as an economist, and so on and so forth. Like you also said, I'm a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Institute of Consultants. I'm a fellow of Chartered Institute of Credit Administrators. You know, I'm a fellow of so many bodies. You know, so the experience is here. I don't know whether we'll go straight to the topic.
Not at all, because
Okay,
I'm going to
we'll
say
get
to you that corporate governance, as a matter of fact, according to textbook definition, deals with a system that is made up of a set of rules around which an organization or even a country, as a matter of fact, can be governed or can be operated. Would you say so much that in terms of corporate governance within the economic frame of Nigeria has actually been imbibed by all of the different players?
It's part of our development. I won't say we are there as a country when we talk about the corporate sector really. The government the government as a federal government is a different entity, and that's why we call it corporate governance. So government is not treated as a corporate body like that. You understand? So we're talking about companies, organizations, firms, especially the publicly quoted ones. Do you understand?
Yes.
Let me now tell you that it was as recent as last year, 2018, that the FRCN, that's Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, issued what is now in place as the Code of Corporate Governance in this country.
Has it been implemented, or it was more like a launching of it sometime last year, if I remember?
It's been implemented because there was something before it, something that was in existence by 2016. And even before that, you have something akin to the code, but it keeps getting better. So I'm telling you about a comprehensive one that is in place now is the one that was issued last year. So the corporate bodies involved are all learning and trying to abide by those codes and rules as issued by FRCN. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So we are not there yet. As a matter of fact, the one before that of last year was tighter in various directions. And so it was causing problem. So this one that was issued by FRCN last year is a bit, relaxed. Okay. And so companies are now allowed to do your thing and report back to us. Absolutely. And not the other way around, that you are expected to be perfect right from day one. So it's a developing process. And talking about sustainability, it has to do with doing things ethically and properly now.
Whether that has to do with in the product you churn out, even for a consultant.
It has to do with all that, even in consultancy. Because a consultant could end up deceiving the people he's supposed to guide.
True.
Do you understand?
That's true.
If you are a manufacturer, you could end up manufacturing a fake version. Do you understand? Of what you're supposed to produce. Or making the quality be less than what it ought to be. Absolutely. All these are ethical issues. Do you understand? But when you're operating on a sustainable basis, abiding the principles of sustainability, it means you are there to do things in such a way that you don't in any way hinder, do you understand, or compromise, the activities of people who will come to do the same thing you are doing in the far future.
Absolutely.
That's the principle of sustainability.
It makes a whole lot of sense.
Yes. So once you do anything that will in any way encroach on what they're going to do or, tamper with the environment, that when they come, they will not be able to do exactly those things you are doing. You are tampering with sustainability.
Absolutely.
You are not
it's interesting that a lot of people have sometimes said, and you mentioned it, that it's called corporate governance because a lot of times you are dealing with organizations, companies, private and publicly quoted companies.
Exactly.
But at the same time, that same principle, you can say, rubs off on the government. Because political leadership is very key. This present administration have actually rolled out a program called Ease of Doing Business. You think it was a very, very good step by the government in terms of providing an enabling environment?
Thank you. But you have said it. You see, why you have the profit motive in the private sector is not the same profit motive in the public sector.
Okay.
In the public sector is provided what is called public good. Do you understand? But in the private sector, it is more or less, profit driven. You see the difference? So the role of government is to provide the enabling environment for these private sector operators to thrive. That's the difference. And that is why the government will construct the road and might end up not asking you to pay them a dime. That's public good.
But of course, the funds that are used for that in terms of infrastructural development comes from taxes. And those taxes, a company that has embraced corporate governance will obviously pay its taxes.
No, certainly. Let me also tell you that the company that embraces corporate governance, truly, we do well, like I told you. And when it does well, part of the indicators that show it's doing well is the quantum of profit.
True.
And the volume of tax is going to pay is a function of the quantum of profit.
True.
And the dividend is going to pay to shareholders is again a quantum of profit.
True.
So you see how all of them are linked.
Yes.
So the better a company does, all things being equal, the more the volume of tax is going to put to the government.
Absolutely.
You understand? So they are all linked.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Thank you. The government is doing itself a world of good by providing the enabling environment, to prepare the way for the private sector operators. And on the other hand, when the private sector operators do well, they are not in a position to pay more tax.
That's true.
To the government.
That's true.
And
willingly, without grudges.
Thank you. And tax is one of the sources of money. Money, finance to the government. There are other sources. Of course, our oil is there.
Absolutely.
And so on and so forth.
It's interesting that people oftentimes say that the government has no business in business. Although we will argue that government's business is actually creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive,
Yes.
naturally.
Yes.
But government will always create policies that can help to drive foreign direct investment.
Sure.
And this code of corporate governance itself is a very, very strategic, policy for them, so to
agree with
speak.
you.
You agree with that?
I agree with you because any foreign investor, that knows that you have this strong corporate governance code in place, all things being equal, are likely to come in. He might not even look at another thing. He said that this corporate governance, it means doing things according to the rule, not outside
It's more
the
like
rule.
fighting corruption
Yeah.
or minimizing corruption
Yes.
so that the prosperity is diverse and then it's all inclusive.
That is it. For example, the board has what is called fiduciary responsibility, meaning that if you're a member of board of directors and any paper for loan or for whatever comes to you and you sign, if that loan goes wrong for whatever reason, you are held responsible. You understand? If at the end of the day, after working, staff are not paid salary for whatever reason, you have part of the
Yes,
responsibility as a
yes,
member of the board of
yes,
directors.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
You understand?
yes.
So,
Because
so
I
when all
don't-
these are in place, a foreign investor will feel safe and secure to come in.
Yes, because that points me to a question I wanted to explore with you.
Okay.
I know you're a member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations.
Yes.
And there's always been a case in terms of communication that goes up and then comes down. And then people know that stakeholders may necessarily not be so much of the shareholders as the case is. However, if an organization needs to thrive in an environment where corporate governance is actually upheld, then the staff and the members of those companies must key into the vision. You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that because let me also tell you, when you are talking about corporate governance, you also have to identify what is called stakeholders.
Okay.
And one of the critical stakeholders are the staff. Me and you, the media, we are part of the stakeholders.
That's true.
You understand? The shareholders are the stakeholders. You understand? For example, if a company is doing well and not paying staff well, do you understand? You know the kind of message it will send to the outside
Yes,
world. And
yes.
you think you are doing well. When the people inside who are producing the thing, and all, it's like the goose that lays the golden egg,
Yes.
not being properly taken care of.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So they have to key into it. And the fact, as a matter of fact, many companies will tell you that the staff are the most important asset. And if staff are treated that way, chances are that the company will be doing well.
Okay.
Yes.
You see, part of our mission on Business Matters, which is one of Nigeria's leading business program, is to also bring a lot of this thinking and present them to a particular interest that we have, which is the small and medium scale businesses. Because a lot of people feel that MSMEs do not necessarily have to subscribe to good corporate governance codes.
They
And
have to.
do you think that is a wise step for them?
They have to. Let me tell you. Corporate governance has to do with everything about business of whatever scale. Let's even forget about the publicly quoted companies.
Yes.
It's let's remove technicality. Corporate governance has to do with doing things well, the way they ought to be done. I have been in the system. I've been a practitioner, so I know what I'm talking about. It means doing things well, good corporate governance. You understand?
Absolutely.
It's like Professor Jerry Gara, who used to say, if you're a teacher, teacher well. If you're a professor, profess well. That is what good corporate governance is all about. So no matter the scale of your business, if you are a small scale business, do you understand? And people see that you do things properly, you don't cut corners. And I must tell you, one of the major things at that level is the quality of your product. Do you understand? Because the small scale people, in order just to make it, many of them go into packaging all kinds of fake product, inferior product. Do you understand? And that's why we have the challenge of not developing our, export, business properly. Because the things that are supposed to go out from here are they of that standard and quality, that the rest of the world will be able to take from us.
Before the oil boom, we were surviving on agricultural resources and produce.
Sure.
And then the granite pyramid in the north, you had the cocoa in the west, you even
palm
had the
produce.
oil palm in south and the rest of them.
Yes.
We were able to make things right at that time. So what went wrong?
Well, it's this issue of what is called the Dutch disease. The Dutch disease means that we have, discovered oil in commercial quantity, you understand, and over time, Our heart, our energy, our psychology, our everything has been tied to oil, taken away by oil. Do you understand? And nobody wants to think about any other thing.
That's sad.
Do you understand? So
sad.
that is what we are suffering. We have been on oil for so long a time that if you are told now as a young person to go back to agric, you will think that you are being sentenced to Golgotha.
No, Marcel, I'm thinking of actually becoming a farmer soon.
That will help you.
Now, I know you have a background as a communication strategist. As a
Also,
matter of fact,
yes.
you run a company that focuses on that.
Sure.
And then you also have overseen information and media for an oil company in
Sure.
time past.
Yes.
How important is information management within the context of corporate governance, and how that can also project Nigeria's brand and reputation beyond the shores?
Thank you so much for this question. You know, like I have been saying, it is one thing for you to do well, whether as a person, as a private sector company, as a government. It's another thing for you to have communication strategies who will understand that thing you are doing and be able to package what you are doing in such a way that the rest of the people, you know, for example, your target market, your stakeholders, you know, will come to know exactly what you are doing and appreciate what you are doing. Do you understand? So that is what is involved in communication and communication strategy. So it's so critical that even when you are doing things well and the information is going out well, it's like you're not doing anything. That's the way the world is. Let me even take the example of Nigeria. Yes, the way things are now, so people blame it on the fact that, you know, the communication is faulty.
Absolutely.
To what extent and in what dimension, I will not say here now. But some people blame it on that. And some people say the government is doing so much, but people don't don't understand about it.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
The same thing with the entities, companies. When they are doing so well, maybe they are doing CSR, corporate social responsibility.
Yes.
You know, maybe the quality of their products is the best in the market. Do you understand? You know, maybe their stability, no crisis anywhere in the system. It is the communication person in-house that will be packaging all these things and sending out to the public.
Yeah, but people feel media or communication channels are too expensive. Would you agree with me that any investment in communication, whether, for example, you're here on Business Matters,
Yes.
and if we had other people who come in here to talk about their businesses and how much it is, don't you think that is a plus for them?
Let me tell you, there's a statement that if you say education is costly, try ignorance. In other words, refuse to be educated, then you know which one is more costly. You understand? So, for, again, a company that wants to stay on a long-term basis, do you understand? So, spending on communication is an integral part of its survival. I can put it that way. If we even have any crisis for whatever reason, let people know. He's a communication expert or strategist that knows how best to put it across.
Absolutely.
Because every human activity, you know, is susceptible, you know, to challenges or this at one time or the other.
Absolutely.
I mean, so, but how it is packaged and sent out is the issue.
So you agree with me that programs like this, Business Matters, and the several programs we have on the NTA platform are very critical for companies and organizations to actually leverage to project their brand?
Very, very, very. For what we are discussing now is not something you can get, you know, from the main road here at the value. Any person listening to us will gain a lot. I'm telling you. I'm not talking as a layman.
Absolutely.
I'm an expert in this matter.
You are.
The banker
As a matter of fact, you are maintaining a column in one of Nigeria's newspapers.
Sure.
I actually looked at
the
some
bank
of
I
this.
was working for, you know,
Yes.
until a few years ago, I was the chief sustainability officer, and we were among the first set of banks to start writing what is called sustainability report. Meaning we write a report to tell the whole world that we are observing, you know, all that we should observe.
And so much, that is part of the drivers that have actually pushed the profitability of that particular bank.
You have
As a
said
matter of
it.
fact,
You-
it's the top, one of the top 5 banks
you
in the
have said
country,
it.
in
So-
terms of share capital, in terms of volume of business.
And when we publish that, it goes somewhere into the internet, you know, and these foreign investors and everybody goes there to check and see exactly what we are doing. And they come down here, they see exactly what we are doing. So you have nothing to hide.
Right. As a matter of fact, it's a matter of principle. Don't you think that same line of reasoning can actually be, you know, applied in government?
Yeah, sure. Sure, but again...
Because political leadership is so key.
Sure,
Foreign
but
direct
again,
investment.
But I have told you that what drives activities in the private sector is profit motive. It's not like that in the public sector.
excellence of service delivery should be a good
Well,
motivation.
that will be born out of, listen, in the public sector, professionalism and
Yes.
patriotism.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
But when you are in a system where you think you won't apply patriotism, there could be professionalism, but you think you can't, you won't apply professionalism. You understand? That is why people tamper with a lot of things or refuse to do the proper things all the time.
Could it be part of the reason why corruption seems to be having so much in terms of energy to be thriving?
You have said it. You have said it. There's also this issue of insecurity of tenure. For example, you're a civil servant. You understand? And therefore, when you are going up like that, there will be political consideration even when it comes to a promotion and promotability. You understand? And now you know that for whatever reason, maybe where you come from, you are not likely to get to a certain level. You understand? Some people will have the tendency to feather their nest by whatever means and grab it, yes, while the sun shines. Because at any point in time, they could be booted out.
Yeah, because you see,
know?
like the principle of corporate governance, you are taking care of the people. That will you say the goose that lays the golden egg?
Yeah.
Because if the man or woman who is in the public sector or who is in civil service understands that his needs and interests and all that will be taken care of, that is a reflection of leadership that actually understands the importance of governance.
I agree with
that
you.
pushes for human.
Absolutely. But what we are painting for the public sector is an ideal situation. We don't have an ideal situation in the public sector. Neither do we even have it in the private sector.
Anywhere in the world.
If these are ideal, we'll have problems.
Is this unique to Nigeria, or are you saying that applies all around the world?
It's a matter of to what degree.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Marcel
Yes.
Okeke, this has been an engaging time with you. As a matter of fact, I was hoping that my producer would say we should just extend this conversation and
I
let
don't
it
mind.
go
I
on.
have a lot to say.
But time is never our friend on television, isn't it? I want to say a big thank you, sir.
You're
This
welcome.
has been an amazing. You've done a wonderful justice to this topic. I want to say
welcome.
thank you. And I hope we're going to
It's my
have you
pleasure.
again
I'm
one more
av-
time to
I'm
explore
available-
other topics
I'm
as the case
available
is.
for you.
Thank you very much,
You're
sir.
welcome.
All right, viewers, this is so much we can take on the professional segment. Like you agree with me, this has been an amazing engagement. Corporate governance, definitely, will help your business thrive. And of course, that principle can also be applied in the public sector, where we can become a better country with regards to corruption index, and so that the foreign direct investment that we're looking out for will become something that can help us push our economic transformation agenda. Please stay tuned. Business Matters continues after now.
Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Intel 4G.
Intel. Live more.
Business matter. Let's talk business. Business matter. Business matter. Let's talk business. Business matter.
The interface between good governance, rapid economic transformation, and sustainable development cannot be overemphasized. A nation devoid of corruption, poor control of public funds, lack of accountability, indiscipline, among other vices, will prevent any meaningful economic transformation. That much we can bring to you on this edition of Business Matters. Please do reach out to us on all our various social media platforms. Till I come your way next week, I remain Stephen Ipalobo Lawson. Bye for now.